Hey, Axis and Allies players, the good captain here. Welcome to a recap of Germany's round 4 and round 4 for both France and the UK in this game of Axis and Allies 1914 against a human opponent. Alright, the purchase for Germany is 13 infantry and 1 fighter. And Germany moves against Livonia. Full force. Pushes Silesia to Poland. Cracks Belgium. Maintaining the pressure up there. Okay, so what does he do with Berlin? This is always the... This is, to me, always interesting as the Entente. Like, what's Berlin doing? Okay, so let's see. 9 infantry, 2 fighters, and 1 artillery. Okay, so he sends the arty and nearly half the infantry south. Okay, so he splits it. Alright, yeah. And swings the fighters east. Yeah. Okay, now the shoe's on the other foot over here. So that's the... Yeah, that's kind of what I was looking for. I might I don't know. I'm still kind of learning what the best. I mean, this again. This once you play this game enough, you realize how complex this revolution rule is, and I think this is one of the first games where I didn't buy at least one Russian fighter on R1. I think Ragnell, to his credit, kind of capitalized on that, and now I end up with 3. I think it would have. I think 1 might be better, but I can't say why. So I'll just leave my mind open to that. So anyway, air superiority goes back to the Germans. Although local air superiority for 1 more turn is in the Russians. It's going to be for the Russians. Pending what he does with Belarus. You know, there could be a 50-50 if he puts the Belarusian fighter from Austria-Hungary in with Livonia. But okay, this is not what I want to spend my time doing, so let's go to the combat. Because it's me looking at it for the first time. So, yeah, pretty much a par roll there. Ooh, and a -1 for the British. No big deal. The blocker battles are sort of meh, just window dressing 99% of the time. Okay. Yes, 11, 2, and 25. Yeah, this is a smash. Okay, we pick up our kill. And there, thus ends the life of the ill-fated Livonia expedition. Whoop-de-doo. Okay. Oh, okay, yeah, this is totally excusable. I mean, Africa, why is it still there? A slight misplay on my part. Not a big deal. The Entente is a forgiving set of powers with their transports and control of the ocean, among other things. Okay. And that brings us to France. What are we going to do as France? All infantry, of course, save 1. Okay. I was looking at some potential offensive actions. The West Front, at least temporarily, is not a huge threat, and I'm not a huge... I don't know. I just like to push where there's mush, and you know, really... I just played too many games, I think. So here's what I'm going to do, without even explaining that comment. I'm going to push Arabia. Now, this will turn blue, but anybody who owns the physical board knows this is not possible. This is just a limitation of AAA. I will not be able to collect on this as France. This goes to the UK, so I'll have to change it after this phase. I'm going to pull this transport into the center and yank these 2 off of Piedmont that were aimed at Venice and drop them into Albania, and that's to activate these 2 French battleships. Add it all up, this is 12 points, so the most likely outcome is that 2 hits will be scored on Albania, with the potential for a capture of this piece of ground that's important to the Italians. So, but the main thing is, again, this is sort of leverage off of that earlier battle. Okay, so I know I won a battle against Germany here, so where can I disperse some of that victory? And this is kind of one of the areas. I don't think Venice needs French troops this turn, right? The Italians will be able to reinforce with adequate troops to prevent an attack, at least an attack at any kind of parity in favor of the CP. So what do we do? Well, I have these French battle wagons that almost always kind of do nothing. So that's why I like that kind of French route through the Piedmont. They have extra transports, they have extra battleships, and sometimes opportunities present themselves to do fun things like this. So we'll do that. Down here, we have to move this transport and infantry adjacent to Gold Coast to block these renegade Germans while the hammer comes up behind. Okay, that French transport stays adjacent to London. It's got a job to do. So yeah, everybody's working. I kind of like that. All the pieces are at work here. Yeah, we gotta smash the blocker he left in Lorraine. But yeah, we'll still bulk this up. I'm gonna move 4 pieces into Piedmont. I just decided on 4 because A, I can, and B, with the way I run the Entente, I really don't like losing Venice at all, period. So yeah, four down there. Italy has a hard time supplying itself with troops, so France needs to midwife Italy until the Americans get into the war. So everyone else can go here. We'll send 1 here. Send the rest here. So let's analyze the Germans' reinforcements. So they'll have 10 4, so probably 11 4 with a blocker at Alsace. You know what? We don't need 8 in Burgundy. Let's split it 4 4. That'll put a little more pressure on Belgium on the following turn, while still be giving us a healthy amount of troops to send to Piedmont. Although 4 in Piedmont already is pretty hefty, but I just don't want to mess with it. We don't need to win over there, we just need to hold. So I say that's good. Ooh, I almost forgot. I get to do this fun thing. This is how you account for offshore artillery. So the Austrians have a artillery in Albania. So we will put 1 Frenchman in this coastal barrage 1. There's just 1 of those little coastal barrage guns, and so this will be the first battle we resolve. And depending on the outcome, if the coastal barrage battery thing up here hits on its combat, I will edit out 1 infantry. This does not affect the offshore bombardments of the battleships. The French will still have 2 offshoring battleships. So yeah, the artillery fire, the battleships fire. It's limited by the number of troops, but the kill from the offshore artillery doesn't affect this. So let's just click through one last time. Do I want to mess with this fighter? Yes, it's not necessary here. And this gives us an option to bring it to Venice. Yeah, right, that's the right answer. Yep, that's how you take advantage of the range of your units. Yeah, there's no reason not to do that, so that means you should do it. It's the better play to make. Okay. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we have, even if we take a loss, it's over 18, so the average would kill if he, yeah, so overthinking it. Okay, so let's done out and do the coastal barrage. Yes, I do. Let's do the coastal barrage first. Ignore the first dice. This one's the artillery, and he misses. Alright. Entente are having some decent dice. Well, let's wait. Hold our breath here. Both battleships hit. infantry have a 55% chance of cleaning up. What is going on? Good lord. Oh my god. That's not cool. So French rolled 4 dice and got 4 hits. The Austrians, jeez. That's +2 France, -1.5 Austria-Hungary. Turns blue, same thing. Wait, it goes to Italy, not to France. You know. Okay, at least there's a hit off the blocker. Okay. Yeah, the CP are a brittle power. They cannot take too many dice slides. That wasn't a major battle, but that is a major, and that sucked for, yeah, sucks for CP. Okay, so let's go ahead and change the territory owners. Albania. There's still a lot that can happen up in Russia, so there's chances to rebalance the thing. But the dice are certainly leaning towards the Entente. What am I doing? Turning it to Italian, so let's do that. And this one goes to France. I mean, goes from France to Britain. There we go. Okay, and that's done. And yeah. Okay, now the UK. Okay. So the UK, we're interested in tanks. Oh, no, wait, let me copy this just a second. Okay, this is a play-by-form game, so yeah, we're gonna buy 2 armor down in India, and the rest infantry. Save 2. Yep. I'd like to keep my, especially with the British down here, since I know I'm gonna be drilling into Mezzo. If he decides to hold, we're gonna take infantry losses. So I want like I never want less than 3-to-1 ratio with infantry to artillery. If you have less than that, you're at risk of losing those artillery. And those artillery and armor and air, those are core units. You don't want to lose those. Infantry, that's okay for the most part. But you don't want to ever be in a position where you get drilled into through the infantry screen and have to replace more valuable units. So at the end of this turn, I think we'll be closer to 30, 32, something like that. And then, yeah, the armor. So, yeah, it's probably appropriate. Okay, over here, this is pretty simple. We push in. Oops. And then the German player decides whether to, attack uphill into the Gold Coast or, have the Entente basically have the British come and get them next turn. So, that's that. We'll move off. Yes. And now the question is, do we plink the Syrian desert? Nah, not yet. There's no rush. There's no rush. No need to throw away troops unnecessarily. We have what in risk is called inevitability, or the economic advantage. Let's bring 2 infantry. No need to. And I'll just be honest, Ragnall has a penchant for driving into Africa, which seems stoppable for the most part as the Entente, but really makes me tug my collar when that happens. I'm just kind of like, ugh. So just play it safe over there. All right. Then we have over here. Let's see. So the UK. This is something. I don't know if if I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry, but when it comes to contested zones, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's 3 hits likely, maybe 4. So we want like 8 pieces, 7 or 8. Yeah, so I'm going to put a Brit here and a Brit here, and I'll explain why right now. I'll explain why. Yeah, we don't need artillery yet. Let's just cut in with infantry. So if a contested zone is for some reason created in Picardy, the British can still move into Burgundy or Lorraine because they have a British infantry there. If those weren't there, all British units would be stuck in Picardy. You have to control. You have to have a territory that's controlled by the power that's playing, or have a piece of the power that's playing in an adjacent territory to move out of a contested zone. That includes other contested zones. You have to have matching pieces to move between contested zones. We'll load up this French transport with artillery and infantry. That seems a little irresponsible. Let's just put infantry as well. But we start, yeah, we have to start moving over other types. Okay. So we cycle through. Kiel is open. Nah. Again, why do that? Ah, okay, this. Yes, this. I hadn't quite decided, so let me take a pause. Yeah, I think I'm going to stand fast here. Yeah, because I can bring these two distant infantries around to Persia on the next turn. That might be a good use for this transport, at least on the next turn. Oh well, alright, so I don't think there's any fighting. Click the done button. Done again. Drop in the purchases. Yeah, and that's it. So I'm not going to mention anything about, I could go over stuff about this, what's developing here in Russia. It would be a complete waste of time. We need to see what Ottomans are doing. We need to see what the Austrians are doing, and then we can talk about, what new developments are relevant and what options are available to the Russians and perhaps even the CP. But since the story is still being written, we'll have to wait till Russia's turn to reanalyze that and see where we're at. We already cast our die in the previous turn, so more to say about all this situation when we get to Russia's next turn. Thanks for watching this. All the best from the good captain, and bye-bye.